Hey, welcome back to Leafy Life. I'm Susie, and this channel is my space to share my love of houseplants.
In this house, I am tending to leafy life, reaching green and bending toward the light. Leafy life, this is my leafy life.
I'm going to visit Hutch Houseplants today. It's a beautiful day, sunshine and blue sky, so I just feel like enjoying a nice jaunty drive and gonna put some good music on. I have some Tradescantia sitting next to me on the seat because I need to take my son to the dentist in the middle of the day, and the dental assistant loves Tradescantia. So yeah, I'm going to go and see what peperomia they currently have at Hutch. So yeah, and just enjoy a nice browse. Here is my bag of little goodies. I was quite restrained. There are a couple of non-peperomia in there. One is a treat for my son because he was having a tooth extracted that day, and the other is a tiny little umbrella plant, very, very cute. But yeah, I was quite restrained on the individual plant prices. I chose the smaller, cheaper peperomia, but they were ones that I really, really love and I'm cherishing them. And I just was quite careful not to get carried away and buy up all the peperomia that I don't currently have. I would definitely love to go back for a maculosa. They were really impressive and just so gorgeous. But yeah, it doesn't all have to happen at once. This is just a very impressive umbrella plant that we saw in the corridor to toilets at a cafe after the dentist, and I wanted to show you because it was so cool and long, and I've never actually seen one quite that developed. So I'll just unpack and show you my purchases up close. everything from Hutch. I'm going to show you those in position now that they've got their pots and now that they're living where they're going to be staying. And I do have some other Peperomia additions to show you. In the background you can see my utility room. I'm really pleased with it because it was just so uninviting, it was so uninviting before, and now you can see these little storage units. I've actually put all our recycling on the floor so that, I'll just show you, so that all my plant stuff can be up off the floor. And I got rid of the little trolley because actually these little drawers are much better for me. So they actually conceal some of the like messy bags of compost and stuff like that. And then the little drawers are just so perfect for my tools and bits and bobs. And in here I've got some hooks and sort of random stuff. Tiny little bottles and pots. You can have lots of little pots in here, and a whole drawer just for my macrame string and other string for like tying up plants and stems. I use these a lot because I'm always making hangers for stuff, and that actually brings me on to my other point. Sorry about the washing machine sounds. Yeah, so apart from the new arrivals from Hutch, I have been enjoying adding a few extra Peperomia to my collection from various places, kind of semi-locally, as I will mention and have been mentioning by name. And it does feel nice to grow my collection. It's the most Peperomia I've ever had, and it feels manageable. Partly, I think 3 reasons. One is that they aren't a crazy price. Also, they're generally quite small, and also the fact that it's a genus that I feel familiar with, and so when I'm adding more to that same genus, I'm not having any further complicated care needs to grapple with. It's all the same kind of needs. They do vary a tiny bit within the boundaries of Peperomia, but yeah, they've all got those same care needs to get my head around. So yeah, it kind of feels like a manageable way to expand my collection of plants in a really fun way, because I really do love them all together. So yeah, just really nice to share it all with you. So I mentioned at the end of my last video, the Peperomia part 2, that I had been enjoying gathering all my Peperomia into one place. I'm going to show you that in more detail. Now that it's daylight, you can get a really good look at that. I'll talk you through all the new additions, and I'm going to show you the ones that are now hanging, because I wanted to get some off the ground, because the collection has sort of enlarged so that they don't all fit on the one small table anymore, and I did want to keep them all together, and it's nice to get some height going on. So I'll talk you through that and show you what I've been doing for that, bar one actually, because there's one still upstairs, my large plain obtusifolia, which is just gorgeous on its own. It's really rounded, really plain, and I just love seeing that one by itself and appreciating that without being sort of crowded in. Whereas the other Peperomia, I do really like them all together. I think the variety in the shapes and the colours are just really nice all together. So yeah, I'm just going to show you all of that. So here it all is. This is the table area, and I did have quite a few on the floor. There is still one there. But yeah, I've gone up. So this is the Angulata quadrangularis that was in the lounge, with the lovely macrame hanger that I made at Hutch. And we've just put up some hooks. We are going to put up a few more, but we just need the right screws for our ceiling. The ones that come with it are adequate, I'm sure, in lots of ways, but not for our ceiling, which is a bit finicky. So yeah, we've just put these 2 up, and I've added this one here, and I think it's getting a lot more light, so hopefully be growing in a better habit, because I've noticed that it's got really long gaps between each node. So I think it was really struggling to reach the light in the more dim corner of my lounge. So that's lovely. Plus it's just really nice to have it here with the other Peperomia. And then I made this hanger just really quickly over the weekend. Just a very simple one. It's the kind that doesn't have the tassel. It's kind of a white macrame, slightly glittery. You probably can't tell, it's very subtle, but yeah, I quite liked the fact that it's sort of white on white, so it's not a big feature, whereas this one is like a proper feature hanger. So yeah, this one's got the Clusiifolia red margin, which I picked up in Homebase the other day. It looked like it'd been there for a while, and it was the best of a bad lot. I think they really hadn't had much care for a while. It was a really big one, and it was, I think it was about £7.50 or £7, and I was really glad to find it and really glad to bring it home. It's in flower. Just about see how they've got like a tinted dark leaf, so that's why they're called red margin, because this is a kind of dark red kind of edge, and I think that varies from plant to plant of how obvious that is. But yeah, so that one's now hanging, which is good because it's quite a bigger plant, so it's good to have that up off the floor. And then I had a handy one of these S-hooks which I'd got in Pilia Plant Shop in Frome a few months ago. That was my last remaining one. They are really good, so I'll definitely get some more of those. And this is a little hanger that I'd had in various places around the house. This is just like garden twine, some nice rustic brown twine. This was in my little workroom lately, so that's now hanging off the big hanger, so it just makes use of that height, because I didn't have enough screws to put another hook in, so I thought, well, I'll get it hanging as well as I can. And actually I think it'll probably stay in that position because it kind of fills that little window gap really nicely height wise. So yeah, this is just a little crystally glass, like cut glass bowl from a charity shop that I got a while ago. I just really like it in there because it catches the light. So hopefully this will start growing over the sides a bit more soon. I think it is quite a slow grower, the Peperomia Hope. So yeah, that's all of the hanging Peperomia at the moment. And then down onto this lot. So this is what I've been having fun tinkering with. It's been really nice to put these all in one place. And you can probably see one of the most obvious large additions to this collection of Peperomia is the Sarcophila. I had wanted one, and I heard from my lovely friend Charlotte that they had some at Otter Nurseries, and I was visiting there with my daughter the other day, and we had a lovely exploration. There is a video coming on that actually. But yeah, I got a full price one, which is this one, I believe, which is looking good. I also got a highly reduced one. It was down from like 23 to 9.99 or something. It had a few broken leaves, but it's looking healthy. I thought it might be fun to tinker with and maybe do some leaf cuttings. But yeah, actually it's just a lovely plant in its own right, and it is kind of nice in that spot as a fuller plant. Down here is my still recovering original mother plant of the Rana Verdi, which I dearly love, but it's still battling thrips, so I'm just keeping it a bit back from everything for a little while. I don't really have anywhere to isolate plants at the moment, so I'm just trying not to put it too closely in with all the leaves, keeping a close eye on it. It's not overrun, it's not like a big infestation of thrips, but it's definitely still occurring, so keeping a close eye and just checking it over every couple of days, and if I see a thrip, just pulling that off, giving it a wash regularly. But it is filling out. The little baby leaves are getting bigger. These are the remaining leaves that hadn't fallen off, and you can see that all of these baby leaves are looking really vigorous and lovely, very green. So they're just getting bigger and bigger, slowly but surely. And coming back over to the ones on the ground, I have a Ferrari Nevada. I've actually got two of those. There's one up there as well. Just because they are quite cheap and they are really cool, and there's a possibility that I might give one away, but I do actually just really like it. I think it's quite I don't normally like spiky plants, but this one is like a soft kind of dangly, I don't know, I do like it, and it is a Peperomia. I love the little crowns, the starry crowns in the top of new growth, and that has expanded quite a bit since I got that. So that was at Coombe a few weeks ago. Lovely Laura, who works there, had excitedly shown me some Peperomia that she was taking home, and I was like, oh, are there any more? Can you put one aside for me? Which was a different type of Peperomia up above, which I'll show you. So when I went in to get that one, there were these as well, and so yeah, they were looking really good, and it's continuing to look really happy. And then over here I picked up a little extra Caparata Rosso the other day, because the big full one that I bought, which you saw me pulling to pieces, it's doing okay. Yeah, it's going to be a while since I've got kind of like a fully recovered big plant, so I thought I would go with this nice little cheap option of a nicely rounded but smaller healthy plant. So that's really cute. And then I have the bubbly one. This is the bubble Peperomia. I believe it has another name which I will pop in, but it's known very commonly as the bubble Peperomia. It is a rarer one, and just look at the textures here, it's amazing. It is properly bubbly. The patterning within each bubble, that kind of veiny kind of mottly look, does remind me a bit of the prostrata. Let's see if I can turn it over without snapping it off. There we go. All undulating and very, very pinky red and dotty. Looks a bit like a pointillist painting. So yeah, I'm dreading getting any pests on this because I think it would be a bit of a nightmare to make sure you've got them all. But yeah, it's looking really good and really healthy. It's liking this bright spot. It's beautiful. So then coming up onto the next shelf, so this is the one I was talking about from Coombe, which Laura told me about. It's really gorgeous. I had never heard of this one before. This is a green drop obdipan, is its proper name. It's just so rounded like water lilies. It's just really beautiful. It's very solid leaves, quite thick, very solid. Yeah, it's quite shiny. It's got lovely kind of grooves in it. It's really beautiful. Here is the little obtusifolia bicolour from Hutch, which is looking good. All happy, some nice new growth in there. So I've just put that in a little plain white pot. Which way around was it? Kind of like that. Another rana verii, which you've seen before. Over here I've got my raindrop peperomia, which is still recovering from thrips. Checking it regularly, but yeah, the baby new growth is getting bigger. Still some new growth points coming in. So there we go. And then this little caparata type of peperomia, I picked this up half price from Otter Nurseries when I was there. Nothing wrong with it, it looks really healthy, but I have repotted it straight away because it was in a really big pot. It just seemed like way too much soil for the size of plant, so I've potted it down a size or two and it's looking happy. I'll pop in a picture of what it looked like before, but yeah, it just felt good to get it downsized. It's a type of caparata that I hadn't actually seen or heard of before, and it did take a little bit of investigating online. I've googled around it a bit more. If you think differently to me, then do say. As far as I can tell, I think it is a red luna or emerald ripple or red ripple. They seem to be the same plant with different names, and I can't see any other plant that looks quite like this. So that's what I'm going with currently. There is a hint of green in the leaves, as you can see behind that one. I think it just might be to do with age of the leaves as they develop their colour, and maybe also like conditions, whether they've been in brighter light or dimmer light. So yeah, it's got some, let's see if I can show you, it's got some beginnings of some flowers which are quite white. There we go, little white flower forming, so that's fun. So yeah, it's a nice addition, a bit of a contrast to the other colours. So just going to keep an eye on that and make sure it's happy now that I've repotted it. They don't really like being repotted for the sake of it, but I just was worried that it would get root rot if it was sitting in too much soil, even if I did keep it on the drier side. My rotundifolia still, which you've already seen. We've got the clusiifolia jelly, which you've already seen. This is the little perescifolia from Hutch, which you saw me just unpack just a minute ago. So there we go, that's there. It's quite, it looks a bit like little mini palm trees or something. It's really sweet. Very different from any peperomia I've seen before. Around the corner there's also this little string of turtles, which seems okay. I do find these one of the most fussy peperomia and one of the hardest to grow well so far. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll kind of settle in and be okay and show some new growth at some point. Over here is a real little find. This is a piccolo banda. I really love it. I actually got two. There's one up in my bedroom as well. And this one is as it was, and the other one I instantly repotted into the same size pot. So I didn't disturb its roots. I just hoiked it out of the plastic pot and put it straight into a little terracotta one, the same size, kind of as an experiment to see how they do, because I know that they love terracotta. This one here is in terracotta, and it just is so great. It looks nice, but also it just seems to cope really well in terracotta because it dries out quicker and it just reduces the risk of any rot. So that's really cool. Sorry I'm a bit out of breath. I've got a bit of a cold right now, so I think I'm just a bit short of breath at the moment. But yeah, it's gorgeous. It was like $3.99. It was very cheap, in good condition, really sweet little smart leaves and little baby ones. Love the veining and the coloration, and I just love the shape of these leaves. I like heart-shaped leaves, especially just a nice simple heart shape like this, and it really is a very, very similar type of peperomia to the rana verii, which is probably why I like it so much, because that is my all-time favourite, first ever one, and yeah, very, very dear to my heart. So yeah, that's that one there. I don't think it's getting quite as much light as some of the others, so I'll see if it's happy there, and I'll try and move it around if it's not doing so well. The sun has just gone in, actually. It's a really sunny day, but suddenly got some cloud cover and it's suddenly really dark. So there we go. Yeah, there's the pepper spot doing really well. There's the ruby cascade doing fine. So I think that's basically everything. So I'm loving this whole little scene. If I do invest in any more peperomia, I'm not quite sure where they're going to go. Maybe up if I can get some more hooks up. I'm debating whether I'm keeping this monstera or not. It's wonderful. It was completely free. I haven't shown it to you. I've had it a few weeks. It was quite sprawling, so I've tied it up and taken off some leaves. Yeah, it's not showing any signs of new growth currently, but it looks fairly happy. I just don't know if it's going to be able to stay in my house long term, because it's not just the height, it's the width that is the problem. I just don't really have a lot of spare floor space, so it's up off the floor, so you know, if it grows much taller it can come down onto the ground, but it's more just the actual circumference of the plant really. So I'm starting to consider whether I'm going to rehome that. Yeah, to be decided upon. But if that did go, it would free up a little bit more space for some peperomia in this spot. Also, yeah, I could hang some more things there, although they wouldn't be in the window. They'd have to, there is a limited amount of space obviously for plants in any home, so I'm just going to be quite careful about what I bring home next. So yeah, I know that I would love a maculosa, a Peperomia maculosa. That's something that they did have at Hutch, which I thoroughly admired. Here is a little eBay parcel that arrived during half term, so I had my two helping me to unpack it and get it potted up. And it's a lovely, lovely Peperomia, little watermelon Peperomia.
Wow.
Watermelon Peperomia. It looks very dry. It's got some roots in there. Looks like some nice roots.
You could actually just fill that bag with water.
I'm gonna pot it up.
Shrimp. So today, a month plants. I love plants. What one? I mean, behind the corner. Yeah. Can you do a handstand for me? Okay. All right. And do you want to see me do a cartwheel? Yeah, I do. Okay. Spider-Man. Look at that bit of me grow. I wonder how well it will.
There was a little leaf down low in the roots, which you may have noticed when I was potting it up. Little green bit of treasure coming through, but it hasn't broken the surface yet. Or has it? No, that's a bit of perlite. So yeah, just waiting to see when that pops up, and hopefully it'll be happy. Hopefully it'll settle in just fine, and eventually when it's a bit more established I'll go and add it to the rest of the collection. But right now it's just getting a bit more love and attention over here, just to make sure that I don't forget about it or like let it dry out when it's very young. This is a single leaf cutting of my Peperomia albo vittata rana verdi. Put this in a few weeks ago just to soil. The other one's all rotted, but this one has stayed. It is rather yellowing, but look, little baby leaf. I just noticed this a few days ago and it's already got bigger, and around the other side are some more little baby leaves. Look at that, so tiny, so cute. I'll just zoom in. There we go. Look at those. So yeah, I imagine this leaf, the big one, might go soon. Now that I can see it up close, it does look really dusty, but I don't think there's any thrips on it or anything. It's just dusty. Hold on. No, I can see something walking on that one. It's not as big as a thrip. normally is, so I'm not sure what that is. I'll give it a little wash off anyway. So yeah, eventually this yellowing leaf will just go, but for now I think it's doing its job to some extent. Maybe I'll leave it there for just a tiny bit longer, and then I'll snip that off so that these guys can be independent. But that's really fun. Another little baby peperomia plant has begun. So yeah, that's currently me and my collection of peperomia. I'm sure it will evolve a little bit here and there, but I'm just going to be doing my best to take care of them all. I'm so thrilled that I can really keep a good eye on them here, because I hang out here a lot. I'm downstairs. When I'm at home, I'm downstairs the most. I'm usually in and around the kitchen rather than like the lounge or my workroom. So yeah, it definitely feels hopeful that I can make sure I don't suddenly let them dry out like I did before. If you saw any of my recent videos, I did lose some peperomia over the Christmas period because they were in a different room that I wasn't going into, and it was out of sight, out of mind, and rather sadly lost a couple of little baby ones. Again, being smaller, they do dry out quicker, but yeah, I've learnt my lesson and I'm now keeping them in plain view. So if you have any peperomia that you want to share or tell me about, just put it in the comments. If you want to share photos of your collection, whether you group them all together or whether you have them spread out amongst your collection of other plants, or you know, which peperomia you love the most, which ones you've been getting on well with, which ones you've had trials with. Yeah, just share your thoughts. But thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be back with some more planty stuff soon. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and like and share and follow and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!